Rundown. I am your host, Murf, where we here in Murf's Fan Cave do a quick rundown of all of the pertinent Raider stories that are happening throughout the course of the week. This new show, this new venture will give us an opportunity to kind of get into the weeds a little bit. We're going to dive into a lot of the stories and kind of cover them more in depth. Look forward to doing this show on a weekly basis, and it will feature myself and maybe Uncle Mosh, maybe my cousin Sonny, maybe who knows. And this week, I'm glad to welcome in the one and only Swag Jeff. What's up, Swaggo?
What's up, man? And hey, you know what? Sometimes it could just be me and Mosh.
I might not even be in it.
You might not even be here.
You know what? I would welcome that. I'll be here and I'll just produce it.
Yeah, just leave the key under the mat and we'll come in.
That sounds perfect. Absolutely. So anyway, so this new show, Swaggo, so we've kind of kicked around a few different ideas of things that we could do to keep our content here at Murph's Fan Cave always fresh. And so we're going to do Raiders Fan Radio live. That show will not change. That's where we're going to feature the Sea of Fans. That's where we're going to do a lot of our interaction with you, the RFR listening audience. But this one, you and I are going to take a few stories and we're going to kind of get in the weeds, man. We're going to dig in and really, get into the nerdy part of Raider talk.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got a lot to talk about.
Got a lot to talk about. So let's just get right into it. It's free agent season, man.
Oh, yeah, it is.
The league season is officially kicked off today. So today is March 18th, and the league season is officially kicked off. The Raiders have been absolutely active already in free agency.
Yeah, it's the start of the new season and the start of a new show. It's like we're doing it together.
Oh wow.
It's deep.
Do you call that synergy, Jeff?
I don't know what you call it, but I dig it.
It's synergy, bro.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. So we've been active, man. We're all over the place.
All over the place. So the Raiders have already signed, as of today, we've signed 8 free agents. We're going to go over them one by one, but give you the quick rundown. It's Marcus Mariota, not Mariota.
No, it's not Mariota. Mariota. It's Mariota. Like Super Mariota Brothers.
There you go. We'll look at the way that it's spelled. It's Mario. So Mariota, Corey Littleton, Jason Witten. I don't want to butcher his name already.
Nick Kwiatkoski.
Kwiatkoski, all right, because Aaron Rodgers told us so. We'll get there to that in a minute. Carl Nassib, Jeff Heath, Malik Collins, and literally within the last hour, Eli Apple.
Yeah, within the last 10 minutes of us recording this.
Absolutely. So we're pretty fired up about this free agent rundown so far.
Oh yeah.
And so let's start off with our buddy Marcus, the second now quarterback named Marcus to wear number 8 and to be a Raider quarterback. And I don't know where Marcus Tuiasosopo was from. Marcus Mariota is from Hawaii.
Yes.
But we'll have to look that up. That'll be a fun thing to look at.
That's cool.
But yeah, both Marcuses wear number 8. That's pretty cool. Let's talk a little bit about him. Now, you and I live outside of Middle Tennessee.
Yes.
So we've watched Mariota for the entirety of his career, and you are just recently converted over from being a damn Titans fan.
Yeah.
So you've this was your guy for a long time.
Yes.
I'm going to give you the floor, man. Tell me about Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, he was my guy. He was my guy. I was a Titans fan for a very long time before I came over to the dark side last year, almost a year to date now. I've got it circled on my calendar. But yeah, this was my guy. And, and after I became a Raider fan, Marcus Mariota was still my favorite non-Raider. Just like the guy, I like his persona, I like the way he carries himself, I like he's, a quiet lead by example kind of guy. But, he's a lot of people are saying, well, he's a good backup. He's a good backup. Well, not so fast. Not saying he's going to day one, be the starting quarterback for, in Las Vegas or Oakland, wherever it is, day one. But, he's gonna light a fire under Carr. This is gonna be a very interesting offseason and training camp and all that stuff. At least I think so. I think so because he's a guy that he likes to he's not afraid to extend the play. He's not afraid to extend a play with his legs. I've seen him many times in his career run 50, 60 yards down the field when there's nothing there and make something happen. And that's probably one of the biggest issues that a lot of people have with Carr is that he doesn't know how to extend a play. He throws the ball in the dirt. He gives up. Well, Mariota is not that guy. He's not a guy to give up. And in this new era of the NFL and this new age of quarterback, you can't just throw it in the dirt. You got to be able to scramble and make your mind up and all that stuff. I think one article that I saw said that's the difference between a chef and a baker.
Oh, nice.
A baker,
that's a good analogy.
A baker does what he's supposed to do, follows the instructions, but doesn't get too creative. Where a chef can go around and he is, adding and creating new things and, putting new things out and stuff like that. So I think that Mariota is more of a hybrid between those two. Mariota is a guy that will, he's the type of guy that he will do what he's told and all that stuff, but he's not afraid to move around. And this, not afraid to extend a play with his legs, quarterback. This is the kind of quarterback that Gruden has always loved.
Yes. That's what Gannon was like.
It's what Gannon was like, and that's, when he left coaching and was doing his quarterback camps and all that kind of stuff. These are the type of people that appealed to him. And watching, I think he had an episode with Mariota, and Gruden did,
yes,
in the QB camp.
Yes,
and he was teaching him Spider 2Y banana.
Oh, no kidding.
And he said, and Gruden's jaw hit the floor because he executed it perfectly on the field.
Oh, nice,
perfectly,
nice.
So Am I saying that he's going to take over the starting position right away? No. Am I saying that he's ever going to take the starting position? No, I'm not saying that. I think it's either going to light a fire in a car or we're going to see the Mariota era begin. And, and he left. He was benched week 6 last season with the Titans against the Broncos, had a bad couple of games, but the first couple of games he did look pretty good. He looked pretty good, but at least he got benched because of his poor play for the last couple of weeks by Coach Vrabel, or at least that's what we thought. But I did a little more research.
Okay.
I did some more research, and we found out that Marcus Mariota, through the grapevine, through Instagram and Twitter, found out that Swag Jeff was no longer a Titans fan. That he was no longer a Titans fan, and so he said, you know what, it's time that I sit down. It's time that I sit down. So in the middle of the game in week 6, he decided, you know what, I'm not playing for the Titans anymore. I'm going to sit on the bench, and I'm going to wait for the offseason because we're reunited, and it feels so good.
Oh, you are
Swag
Peaches
Jeff
and Herb.
and Mariota back together once again, and, he followed your boy Swaggy to silver and black.
Oh, my gosh.
It's perfect.
I love it.
It's a match made in heaven.
I love it. Yes, it is. And so, all right, so Marcus Tuiasosopo is from Long Beach.
And to further go with Mariota, we could do an hour show on this guy because I like this guy a lot. Back in 2015, our general manager, Mike Mayock, he was not our general manager. He was the lead analyst on the NFL Network.
Yes.
And he rated quarterbacks in 2015, which that was the year with Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. And who'd Mayock have at the top of that list?
Marcus Mariota.
It was Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
And, and as you can see, and we've seen more with other guys that we're going to get to later, Mayock's going to get in his guys, man. He's going and getting his guys.
He sure is, and I dig that, and that's one of the nice things about Mayock is that he's been we talked about this when he got hired, like he's been studying this league for a long time now, including these recent players, and so he's absolutely going in and getting his guys. So let's compare him to our current quarterback, Derek Carr.
Yes.
When we look at completion percentage, it's about the same. Mariota at just shy of 63, Carr 64. Yards per attempt, Mariota is got a little bit more because everyone does. At 7.5 yards per attempt versus 6.9 for Carr. Touchdown rate, 4.3% for Carr and Mariota both. Interception rate, 1.9%, same for both. Quarterback rating, Carr at 90.7, Mariota at 89.6. So when you equate into Mariota's ability to run with the football and what he's able to do in the running game, and frankly in the receiving game, we've seen him catch touchdown passes too, one thrown to himself. When we look at them in that way, they're very similar in terms of numbers, but I think the way they got to these numbers are much different because of like when you look, and I know that, facts don't care about your feelings, and I understand, I'm a numbers guy. But when we look at the way that Derek Carr has accrued a lot of his stats, they're not because of competitive situations. They're end of game kind of things, especially like completion percentage, because literally like he'll just start, and as we've seen a million times, and I'm not trying to pick at it here, but he checks it down repeatedly, not over and over and over and over again. You'll see 4 or 5 completions to Jalen Richard on the last drive of the game when they're already down 14.
Yeah, that gets him 75 yards to add to his stats.
And he's, freaking 5 for 5 on the drive, right? You know what I'm saying? So we've seen that happen multiple times. Mariota was not that guy, as you alluded to earlier. He's been sacked, Mariota has, on 8% of the pass plays in his career. That's 5th highest in the NFL since 2015. Derek Carr is 26th highest of 34 quarterbacks in that same span with 5.1%. So Carr gets sacked less. Now, you can equate that to offensive lines until really recently, the Titans offensive line, which just in the past couple of years, really.
Yeah, they beefed up.
Really bulked up. I mean, and they're fantastic now. The Raider offensive line has been good for a little bit longer.
Yes.
But you can also say that's because Mariota does extend plays, like you alluded to, hangs onto the ball a little bit longer. He's not just checking it down right away.
Right.
And it's resulting in sacks. And that's one of the reasons that while I was just critical of Derek Carr on the checkdowns, I also, like what you said earlier about it being coached into him, he's coached to get rid of the ball and to not extend and to not take a sack.
Right.
So there is a little bit of a dynamic difference there, but still the numbers are the same. Here's the cool thing, too, about Marcus Mariota. He will only be 26 years old by the start of this upcoming season. So there's a chance that, a change of scenery will just be good for him. We've seen reclamation projects before with the Raiders. We've certainly seen it with John Gruden and what he did with Rich Gannon.
Yes.
And if we look back at Mariota just as recent as 2018, that dude completed 70% of his passes.
He kind of balled out.
And kind of went and beat the Chiefs in Kansas City in the freaking playoffs after being down 18 freaking points.
It was the last game that John Gruden was the host of Monday Night Football.
Beautiful.
And he got to see Marcus Mariota throw a touchdown pass to himself to make it an 11-point game, and then he saw Marcus Mariota run down the field past Derrick Henry, lay a lead block, and sealed the game.
Beautiful, man. And and I've had a couple people come back at me since this thing has started and say, well, that was before Patrick Mahomes. Well, you know what, dude? It was those Alex Smith Chiefs used to kick our ass too. You know what I mean? It's not like we were great back then. Go look at Derek Carr. And I'm not picking at Derek, but it is what it is. Go look at his record against the Chiefs. We've beat him, twice? And once was the miracle comeback to Michael Crabtree on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
When we had 5 shots at the end zone.
Yep.
Look, the track record is not good. And so when you look at somebody like Mariota, I'm sorry, man. I think it's going to go beyond a backup role. He is going to challenge him for the starting job. I don't feel that somebody with Mariota's former second overall first round pick, I don't think, even though he's coming off of being benched. Yes, he's coming off a challenging season. And the Titans went on to incredible success without him this year.
Yes.
That said, I don't think he's going somewhere where he doesn't feel like he's going to get a shot.
Yes.
I think they told him, you're going to get a fair chance in training camp.
Well, we saw in Hard Knocks, Gruden's going to go with whoever he feels gives them the best opportunity to win. We saw that even in the quarterback room. He liked Mike Glennon more than Peterman. Even though Peterman balled out in the preseason pretty good, he liked the other guy better. He liked the big neck better. But anyway, a lot of people look at these stats that you just read with Mariota versus Carr, and they're saying, well, is that really an upgrade? Is that really an upgrade? You can't look at these numbers. You got to look beyond that. You got to look at, highlight reels. How are they getting these things? Like what you said, but just the ability to extend the play. And you got to consider, too, Mariota has had 4 offensive coordinators in his 5 years at Tennessee.
Too. Well, and the same thing for Carr, though, for a minute.
Sure. But, get Mariota here for 2 years. Let him learn under Gruden. Let him, learn under this offensive coordinator, under Olsen. Let's see what happens. Yeah,
and I think he's going to play early on, too. And the reason I say that is that I don't think he's going to play, necessarily, as a replacement for Derek Carr, unless Derek just really kind of falls apart or something, God forbid he gets hurt or something like that. But I think they're going to bring him in and utilize him. Yeah. You're not going to bring in a guy with that much talent because he's athletic as it gets, man. Like so I'm just picturing like gimmicky type plays. You know what I mean? Like maybe you put them both in the game. Maybe you got Derek and you got, you know what I mean? You put them in the backfield. You see, you know what I mean? You get people that are really creative with offense, can do some really cool stuff with a player like him, dude.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I have visions of like, the Titans did it with them where they sent him out on pass plays, right? Like they did create, even this year they were doing the one play where Derrick Henry threw the touchdown pass.
Yeah, it was the divisional round against Baltimore.
Mariota was in on that play and was open. Like he could have easily dumped it out to the right or whatever it was.
Yes.
But Mariota was alone in the end zone too.
Yes.
Looked like he was expecting the ball and Henry found the other guy with Jonnu Smith or whoever it was.
Yeah, he found Corey Davis on his birthday.
Oh, that's right. There you go. Thank you. So anyways, but point being though is that I think we're going to see Marcus early because they're going to have plenty of time.
Yeah.
They're going to have all training camp to do all this kind of stuff. I don't know. Maybe even see a thing where they switch out once in a while. Like, who knows, man? Who knows where this is going to go? But I'm excited for it. I think that ultimately, not only is it a great move to challenge Derek, I think it's a good idea to push Derek. We're going to find out real quick what Derek Carr's made of because this is the first time he's genuinely going to be pushed as for his position.
Yeah.
Connor Cook wasn't going to push him. Matt McGloin wasn't going to push him. Peterman, Glennon, Deshaun Kaiser, I don't know, who's the freaking AJ McCarron, right? Like all these different quarterbacks that have been through the Raiders room, we're not going to push him for his job. Marcus will. Marcus Mariota is going to push him for his job.
Yes.
And so I think ultimately, we're going to find out what Derek Carr is made of in terms of character. We're going to find out what he's made of in terms of his playing ability. We're going to see where this thing goes. Either way is great. If it doesn't work out, I hate that for him.
Yep.
We'll root for the new guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If it does work out and it pushes him and he finds greatness once again, awesome. If we get 2016 Derek Carr back, awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Either way, we win.
Either way, we win. So I think that's what the Raiders are looking at here. All right. So next up on the we'll call it the high-profile list here of free agents. The Raiders also signed linebacker Corey Littleton.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this was the big one, right? This was the one that we were all kind of hoping for as Raider fans. We've desperately needed a rock star linebacker since Kirk Morrison. Somebody asked me this week, might have even been you, about when the last time that we had like good linebackers, and it was, with Thomas Howard, Robert Thomas, and Kirk Morrison back in the day, man. Like those were the last time, and really it was more Kirk and Thomas Howard, and mostly Kirk. Like he was the man back then. Of course, the rest of the team was terrible. But anyways, that said, like the Raiders have tried at different capacities. Like we did draft Rolando McClain. We did draft a middle linebacker out of Alabama in the first round. Like, I mean, the stars aligned up on that one to be a good move. It just, he washed out because of character issues. So we kind of failed on that one. We took a shot with Vontaze Burfict.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But not character necessarily, but because of, play habits.
His style of play.
Style of play. So the Raiders have taken swings where what we've not done is not, again, gone back to the draft, which was curious because now it doesn't look like we're going to unless we do it in a later round. But we never even made like that big splash in free agency. It was always like the aging guys. It's the guys like Derek Johnson and like
Romanowski and all those kind of guys.
Right. Oh, yeah. Even going back even further, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So to now get a guy that's young, right in smack dab in the middle of his prime. And the thing that I like most about this guy, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can dig in a little bit on him. But for what I know about the guy, he can cover. And we've seen him cover Travis Kelce in a matchup. And so you want to do the tail of the tape? You want to break down the contract and stuff?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And then tell us about what he did when he matched up against Travis Kelce and the Chiefs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so he signed a 3-year deal, $36 million. And that, I guess his base value is about $12 million a year.
Let me stop you real quick. Sorry.
Go ahead.
We don't know the contract details on Mariota.
No, we don't.
We don't know what those are yet.
We looked everywhere for that, couldn't find it. I think it's a 2-year deal. From what I'm seeing, it looks like it's a 2-year deal, but I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, $36 million, 3-year, very affordable in my opinion for a guy like this.
Yes.
Very affordable, and I will tip my hat to Mayock on all this stuff. He hasn't broke the bank with anybody, really.
No, very diligent.
Yeah, very diligent, and we've got a lot more money still to spend. But yeah, so he was matched up with Kelsey in their only meeting in 2018. He covered him 15 times, and they didn't target him one time.
That's awesome.
This guy has 6 interceptions in the last 3 seasons. All the Raider linebackers in the past 6 seasons have only had 5 interceptions.
Oh, my gosh.
So this guy has already surpassed all linebackers over the last 6 seasons, and he also 26 defended passes in 3 seasons, and that's the most by any linebacker in the NFL in the past 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, but what I like about this guy is he can change a game. Like what we just said, deflecting passes, intercepting passes. This guy is leaps and bounds ahead of a guy like Whitehead. I loved Whitehead. He was a great guy, but he, like what we said in the last episode, kind of reminded you of a car of the defense. Didn't do anything wrong, but didn't change the game.
Yes.
This guy right here will change a game.
Absolutely. That's a great call, Jeff. And I'm excited for this one. And then, I'm excited for it also because I think they complimented him in a great way, because, look, we were down to what, Morrow and Markel Lee, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That was it.
That was it. Will Compton hadn't been re-signed yet.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm probably not going to be back.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. I don't know. But to follow up the Corey Littleton signing, they come right back and also sign Nick Kwiatkoski. So I love this because this guy is also a machine. This is going to be a great 1-2 in a nickel defense. So you got, our 2 corners out there, LaMarcus Joyner to cover a slot. And then you got these 2 guys out there playing the middle of the field. So excellent in terms of coverage ability. But this guy can also rush a little bit. He's actually a good tackler. So his deal to the Raiders, 3 years at $21 million. Again, didn't break the bank.
Nope.
$13 million in guarantees. Now, Nick is not as high profile of a name. I didn't know a lot about him.
Yeah.
I kind of knew of his name a little bit, but they're so deep at linebacker with the Bears that he didn't see a lot of playing time.
Yeah, he only played 9 games last year.
So they're saying that he's kind of like a guy in the rough, man. So now the Raiders linebackers last year had 17 pressures and 0 sacks on 109 pass rush snaps. So that's what we were talking about, like with Whitehead. Like he was the only guy in the league to take as many snaps as he did and not register a stat other than tackles.
Yes.
Kwiatkoski in these limited play had 3 sacks, 11 pressures on 35 snaps last year. That's a lot. So you're talking about having these 2 guys out there. You got Littleton can cover the middle of the field in that Tampa 2 cover 2 anyways, where you got the linebacker has to cover like the middle third of the field. And then you got a guy like this, like I'm going to keep messing his name up. Kwiatkoski, who can get sideline to sideline and actually get some pressure on the quarterback. Man, I think it's great. So tell me about Aaron Rodgers, what he had to say about Kwiatkoski.
Yeah,
because we talk a lot about holding certain people's opinions in higher accord than others. Well, when you look at arguably the best quarterback in the game, probably. Mahomes wants a piece of that, but prior to Mahomes, it was Aaron Rodgers for a long, long time. Yes. Anyways, a guy like that, I trust his opinion on things, and tell us what he had to say about.
Yeah, he just said, I've always thought he's a super solid player. I don't like facing him, but I also don't want to butcher his last name, so I just call him 44. He likes him a lot. He likes him. Well, he didn't like playing him, and he had to play him twice a year. But yeah, he's a solid player. A lot of people are calling this guy a sleeper of the free agency. Not a lot of people know about him, but a lot of people are saying whoever picked him up is going to be very, very happy and very successful, and that's the silver and black. So I'm all about that. And so we will continue with the defense, and I want to talk about Carl Nassib.
Let's do it. Yeah, tell me about Carl Nassib.
Carl Nassib, he's a kind of more of a depth guy on the edge. A lot of people are saying, well, why are they bringing in more edge guys? We got Max Crosby, we got Cleveland Farrell, we got the salt and pepper going on. But, this guy, he can play in a 4-3. He can play in a 3-4. And I like to call him he's kind of a hybrid player.
Yeah, because he can play interior too.
He can play interior, and he could also play outside linebacker.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
You know, so he kind of does it all. And, you know, going to the inside, doing the versatile things that he can do, this will allow Clelin Ferrell to focus more on an edge rush to do what we drafted him to do. And, you know, I think this guy is going to pump Clelin Ferrell's stats way up.
Oh, because Ferrell was taking so many blocks.
Yeah, well, he was lining up inside.
Yeah.
A lot of snaps he was lining up inside.
And he's just sucking up interior linemen, offensive linemen, and then allowing other people to get free. Frankly, Max Crosby's success, a lot of it has to do with how they were playing and blocking Ferrell this year.
Yes.
So when we look at Nassib's contract, looks like he got $25 million over 3 years, which again, very reasonable contract, very affordable contract. You know, I like this one, man. You know, this is like depth, right? And while he'll probably see a lot of starting snaps as well, I think that versatility that you're referring to, and just the depth, because that's what wins you championships. That's what wins you in long-term success. You know, while, you know, flashy signings are cool, you know, getting a big name corner or a wide receiver or whatever, those things are fun and all, but these are the kind of signings. This is where you build your team.
Yes.
This is where you build your depth. This is where you build your competitiveness throughout a now 17-game schedule.
Right. Exactly. And, you know, I mean, a lot of these games, you know, we were close at the end of the game. I can't remember how many games it was that we lost within like a score. But these are the type of guys that make the difference.
Yes.
Because when you can plug a guy in like this in the third quarter, you go give Max Crosby the series off. You know, hey, man, take a break, recoup, drink some Gatorade, and get ready, because then these guys will have more steam at the end of the game to make the difference.
Absolutely.
So,
Great
you know,
call.
yeah, you bring in some depth like that, it's a big game changer.
Great call. All right, so next up, let's go back to the other side of the ball. Let's hit the tight ends.
Yeah.
So Jason Witten, man. Now this is interesting. So we get him for 1 year on a $4 million deal. This guy was just in the booth.
Yeah.
So we now have the last two Monday night color commentators.
Perfect.
Monday Night Football commentators. One coaching the other.
As long as we don't sign Booger McFarland next, we're good. I hate that guy.
I'm not a fan of Booger, man. No, neither is the rest of the world. He's a great guy, I'm sure. But his announcing of the obvious. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, the worst was when they had him in that little mobile.
Oh, yeah, where he's zipping all around the...
So silly. So, all right. So this one kind of took a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah, it did.
They're like, what is in it? Frankly, it surprised me too. But here, I was surprised that it happened, but I'm not surprised that it happened. And here's why. This was not on anyone's radar at all, the signing of Jason Witten. But if you think about it, if you put a little bit of thought to it, it makes perfect sense. Now, here's why. Number one is that we've got Foster Moreau, who's a very Jason Witten-like tight end.
It's his favorite player.
Exactly. So that's a big part of it there. So you've got this mentor figure. We also have our starting tight end is going to be Darren Waller.
Yes.
Darren has a history of substance abuse.
Sure.
Thankfully, fully recovered.
Yeah, totally on the other side of it.
Totally on the other side of it. Now they're getting ready to move him to Vegas. What better guy to have in terms of leadership and role model, an extension of the coaching staff, than Jason Witten to be in your tight end room?
Absolutely.
That's why he's there. He's there just like we signed Derek Johnson last year to be or last year, whenever it was, to be an extension of the coaching staff, to teach the young linebackers, to bring them along. Derek Johnson, I don't even think he played a snap, if I remember right, or he very, very limited.
Sure.
Anyways, but point being, though, is that he was there to transfer knowledge. He was there to be a leader and to bring those young guys through camp, through those things. That's what Jason Witten is for.
Yes.
Jason Witten might play a little bit. He might be a little bit of a red zone target, probably going to take some snaps from like Derek Carrier, if Derek Carrier even makes the team now.
Yeah.
Like your 1, 2, 3 tight ends are going to be Moreau, Waller, and Witten.
Yes.
But Witten, I think more so just to have a veteran presence, a leader in the locker room, and not just for the tight ends even. I think this is one of those ones that it even transcends to all of this, to the team. Because, look, here's the thing too. say something happens with Derek Carr, either due to injury or, he just doesn't play well.
Sure.
Mariota steps in. Mariota, while all quarterbacks are leaders to a certain extent, not like a big presence, say, okay?
Yeah, not yet.
He's a pretty quiet guy. He's more the Eli Manning style of...
lead by example.
Yes, okay. So then if there's a void there in leadership, say... Well, who else is there for the offense or the rest of the team? Yes, Rodney Hudson, but also like Mariota, kind of quiet guy, not a bit. Jason Witten, though, all of a sudden you have instant leadership.
Yes.
In someone like that. You have an instant, guy to take, a position of that nature that will just, he'll come in and have respect with him from day one.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? The rest of the guys will automatically be with him.
So, a lot of these younger guys watched him play as they were growing up. They were, 10 years old throwing the ball outside, pretending to be Jason Witten catching a ball.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I like the word that you said, mentor. He's just a mentor.
That's what he said. Yeah.
I think that's why they brought him here. He did that last year when he came back with Blake Jarwin up in Dallas.
There you go.
Down in Dallas, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he, kind of coached that kid up. So, so if you can have a guy like that who already we have stud tight ends with Waller and Moreau, they had unbelievable seasons last year. I mean, it can only get better. It can only get better.
Yeah.
Even like you said, even if he doesn't play a snap.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if, because it's not like he's got guaranteed money. It's monopoly money. You just paid him $4 million in monopoly money. If he never plays, there's no dead money against the cap. There's no nothing.
Yep.
This was an easy... So... Yeah, so because a lot of times when fans when we see this stuff, we go, "Oh my gosh, what are we going to do with that?" Don't think about the X's and O's of it. Don't think about the on the field. Think about the off the field. What is it?
Yes.
What does that mean to have that kind of a presence in the locker room? And I think it's great. All right, let's hit Jeff Heath. So speaking of, so here comes our run of Cowboys.
Yes.
Here comes the Rod Marinelli factor, and so we bring in Jeff Heath. This is more now. Jeff Heath plays safety, but he's also a big special teamer.
Yes.
Right. So that's in terms of contract value, there is none. The rest of these guys that we're going to talk about, none of the contract details have come out yet.
Right.
Apple might be fresh enough. We might be able to find something on him. But anyways, in terms of Jeff Heath, comes in now. He can play a relief in safety. So this is that maybe Dolan Leavitt or Leavitt.
Yes.
Kind of a role, so depth at safety, but maybe not necessarily a starter, definitely a special teamer, definitely another guy, high character, leader. There's a very consistent theme with the Raiders nowadays,
yes.
sans Antonio Brown, that where everybody that they bring into the locker room automatically leads with high character, loves football. You know what I mean?
Yes.
None of there's been no issues with any of that.
Absolutely.
Maybe Apple, from what I hear. But anyways, I'll digress. Jeff Heath is not that, though.
No,
Tell me about it.
No, absolutely not. But he was a starter. Since 2017, he started all 44 games that he's played.
Did he really?
Yes, he
Okay.
has. And if we wind the clock back to 2017, the infamous play where Derek Carr fumbles out of the end zone, that was Jeff Heath that knocked the ball out of his hand.
Oh, my gosh.
So they have some words to talk about.
Okay, so what is it then that is automatically put it in us that we just assume he's going to be more of a backup role? Is that because Abram and maybe Carl Joseph comes back?
Yeah.
Or was there? Did he get hurt? Did he have surgery?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, he is. I believe he's coming off a shoulder surgery.
Okay, so he's got a surgery, and I don't think he's got any picks. He's not like a ball hawk, kind of guy.
No, just a grinder. I mean, just the kind of guys that Gruden and Mayock, are attracted to. Those kind of guys, and they are like depth. I mean, because we got killed in the safety position last year.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, destroyed with Abram and then Carl Joseph, and we were just left with nobody. So I mean, this is just
so have him. So your safety room is now what it's going to be: Heath and Abram for sure, maybe Joseph, Eric Harris, and then Dolan Leavitt.
And then Joyner.
Well, but Joyner,
Joyner's a hybrid too. He's a hybrid, or like a nickel kind of guy.
Yeah. Well, that's what we brought him in to cover slots. You know what I mean? That's by definition more so than. But technically, you're right. You're right. He is a safety. But that's your 5. So I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. A guy I don't know a ton about. Again, no contract details, but former Cowboy is Malik Collins. So same thing, depth, right? Interior, pass rush ability, right? Or even just go in there and occupy some blocks and then hopefully free up a guy like Farrell and Crosby on the edge.
Kinda.
Is that what we're looking at here?
Maybe because he's played in 55 games and he has 14.5 sacks. Not a great stat, but PJ Hall and Maurice Hurst in 59 games have only combined for 9 sacks.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So I mean, this is the kind of guy I feel like PJ Hall's probably sweating with this pick.
I got you.
So maybe not, because you got Mo Hurst as kind of the guy, the starter guy. But maybe a guy if they line up with 4 on the line or whatever, maybe he's the second guy that comes in or something like that. But yeah, a guy like PJ Hall, maybe a guy like
Hankins.
Hankins. Those are the guys that are like, okay, I might be out of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
okay.
I mean, I think it's a depth pick, but he actually had his career high last season with 30 pressures, along with 4 sacks and a fumble recovery. So I mean, he didn't have a terrible year, and so I think this does nothing but just boost the depth of the defensive line. I mean, I dig it.
Yeah. Okay. Right on. Good deal. All right. So then. So that's the end of yesterday, and then today.
Yeah, we caught our breath today.
And then here we go. We've signed Eli Apple. So Eli, again, no contract details out. This is so fresh, but interesting pick. So this guy was a first rounder.
Yes,
back in 2016.
Yeah, 10th overall pick in 2016.
Out of Ohio State, goes to the Giants. Plays 3 seasons with the Giants. Doesn't set the world on fire in terms of interceptions or anything. He had 1 his rookie year. Didn't have many after that. Only played in 5 games in 2018, and then goes to New Orleans. Now he turns it. So in 2018, goes to New Orleans, plays 10 games with the Saints, has 9 passes defended, 2 interceptions, and so has a pretty good season on the books. And then last year plays in all 15 games. And has 4 passes defended, no picks. But here's the thing I like about when you see stats like this, and I didn't watch every Saints game, and so I didn't watch every defensive. So take that for what it is. I'm going to try to consider context. But here's what I do know about playing a defensive back: when you don't register stats, sometimes that's not a bad thing,
right?
Because that means people aren't throwing it your way.
Exactly.
So with 4 passes defended in 15 games, well, that either means that he sucks or
they weren't throwing the ball in his direction.
Yeah. So I'm going to assume Mike Mayock, being Mike Mayock and smarter than I am, knows that he doesn't suck because Mike watches tape, and I'm sure that we've seen maybe that he just hadn't been put in that position to make plays on the ball.
Yes.
Because they're not throwing at him. So, because odds are with this one, Jeff, this guy's going to be a starter.
Oh, I think day 1 he'll be a starter.
It's Eli Apple and freaking Darryl Worley are now your 2 starting cornerbacks for the Oakland Raiders.
Trayvon Mullen or whoever the second guy is. But yeah, I think he's definitely your number 1 day 1 starter.
Absolutely.
And you know what? You said he was drafted in 2016.
Yeah.
And Mike Mayock ranked him pretty high in 2016 as like one of the top couple of corners coming out of that draft. So once again, there you go. Mayock is going and getting his guys.
Mayock's going and getting his guys.
Absolutely.
Love it, man. So
there we go.
We'll see where. So there's a couple more on the list here, still of free agents that are out there. There's a few more high profile guys.
Yeah.
Chris Harris Jr., who I believe the Raiders were making a big run at. And I don't think they got right on the money, or right with each other anyways.
Yeah.
On the money. So
I think they settled. I think they decided to go with Eli Apple as opposed to him.
After Chris Harris didn't work out.
Yes.
Yeah. So Chris Harris goes to the Chargers. So we're going to still see him twice a year at our other home game that we get to play in Los Angeles. But yeah. Okay. Sounds good, man. That was fun.
I like it,
man. So that's free agents. So that's RFR Rundown for this week. Covered the free agent list. Check us out tonight. Well, you're not going to check us out tonight because you're going to hear this on a podcast. We are still going to do RFR Live, and that will be coming on regularly on a Wednesday as well.
Yes.
But you're going to catch this show now regularly as well.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this Thursday and all you do is listen to podcasts, you're going to get a double dip.
You're going to get a double dip, double RFR. Yeah. Well, yeah. All right. Appreciate you, Swaggo.
Yeah, man.
Good job tonight, man.
Yeah.
All right. That was fun.
Peace.
See